Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Omega Seamaster 300 Master Coaxial in full grade 5 titanium. You can see and you can purchase this vintage-inspired contemporary dive watch on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this grade 5 titanium blue ceramic bezel Seamaster 300. Now, on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, the star of Basel World 2014 cuts an imposing presence. Not oversized, nor is it petite like a true vintage watch. It measures 41 millimeters across the round of the case, not inclusive of the crown, and true to its retro inspiration, it has no crown guards to clutter the profile. In terms of thickness, the watch is thick at 15 millimeters, but it wears thicker than it is because of the sheer flank and the outward cantilever of the bezel. It will cause tighter dress sleeves to get hung up, but a little bit planning and you might be able to maneuver your sleeve around to wear this watch in formal occasions, and it will be worth your while because the watch is fairly compact overall. If you were to wear it commando on a strap, NATO style, lug to lug, the measurements are quite reasonable for a modern sports watch at 48 millimeters across the wrist. However, if you do extend that measurement to include the solid end links of the bracelet, then the span across the wrist is a meteor 52.5 millimeters, but still manageable because the titanium, grade 5 and highly scratch resistant, is also wonderfully light. Titanium in grade 5 is a completely different animal than the grade 2 stuff that's common in the industry. Grade 5 is harder to scratch than steel. It holds a satin finish, so you can see that brushed finish on the shouldering links of the bracelet, and it holds a polished finish better than steel. It's even better than Rolex's famed 904L steel in that respect, so you get the best of both worlds with the gray metal's unique aesthetic, its lightness, but also its durability. And you can see the individual links are broadly channeled on the underside to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair, so not only is it light on the wrist, but it releases moisture, sweat, grit, and it doesn't pinch. You also note it's beautifully tapered, and the taper is so progressive that you can just barely feel the steps as you run your fingers down the bracelet. It's beautifully made, and you can see pins and sleeves are long gone in the Omega bracelet catalog. Today, Seamaster bracelets are sized with screws, and that's the way it should be. We still get one of the best folding clasps in the dive business. Omega has been schooling almost every other brand on how these are made since the 1990s. Beautifully finished and milled out inside. They feature twin trigger release, so you must positively discharge the latch. You can't simply pull it open. It's not friction fit, very secure when closed. There's also a push button slider that allows you to incrementally adjust the bracelet, so you have quite a bit, almost 20 millimeters of adjustability, allowing this to be given with ease without precise sizing as a gift, but also to allow you to use the watch over a dive suit, a wetsuit, or simply a thick winter coat, as I am wont to say, and during my school days was wont to do. You'll also note that the watch is beautifully finished, just as the bracelet features differential finish. There's satin finish on the case flanks, beautiful polish atop the bevels and the lug hoods. The band below the knurling of the bezel is beautifully polished. And then, of course, the bezel itself introduces more materials innovation: titanium for the case and bracelet, ceramic for the insert. Now, the ceramic insert is highly scratch resistant. If you're not one to chip or scratch sapphire crystals, you're not going to chip or scratch ceramic. You still have the luminescent index, so you can align with the minute hand, and now time an impromptu 0 to 60 interval of anything from cooking to time between meetings to time to a hot date. The bottom line is it's just as practical as a chronograph, and in most cases easier to read at a glance. You're just capped at 60 minutes. But inboard, you can see that the watch features a number of vintage-inspired elements that eschew the need for a date. This watch is balanced and beautiful by virtue of a dial unmarred by a date window. Dive watch traditionalists will prefer this, and they'll cast a sentimental eye towards the simulated patina luminescent inserts at the hour stations. Because they are somewhat countersunk into the dial, the watch has a little bit of a Panerai look to it. It almost resembles the Panerai sandwich dial construction, but what it does is add texture, depth, and visual interest. And of course, it is a matte base with highly visible white printing. That is not vintage in style, for easy reference, and of course it's beautifully luminescent right down to the vintage-inspired broad arrow hour hand. Now, of course, the caliber 8400, which is essentially just a date-free version of the 8500 coaxial automatic, features a unique time zone function such that you can easily set the hour forward or back without stopping the balance, halting the seconds hand, affecting the amplitude of the watch, or otherwise altering timing. And it is a chronometer, and a chronometer should be set precisely, so you have hacking seconds to stop the seconds hand and set precisely to a known accurate reference time. Now, on the case back, you'll see a 38 joule iteration of the twin mainspring barrel 60-hour power reserve automatic winding caliber 8400. This is a coaxial movement with the unique coaxial beat rate of 25,200 vibrations per hour, and of course this is used only by Omega. Though built custom for Omega by ETA and Grenchen, none of the other Swatch brands have access to this movement. It has a dual anchored balance bridge with a free sprung balance Rolex style to take a precise regulation as a chronometer and as a sports watch to resist shock-induced timing deviation, but it also features an Si-14 silicon hairspring, making it effectively amagnetic and thus resistant to magnetic fields as can be found in purse or wallet closures, refrigerator doors, or high-powered wiring looms in the home or office environment. Of course, it's beautifully finished with the unique arabesque coats as well as blackened screw heads rather than polished or blued, and of course featuring the coaxial escapement system originally conceived by Dr. George Daniels, one of the great independent watchmakers of the modern era, so it has a little bit of a high horology pedigree too. You can see and you can purchase this titanium Omega Seamaster 300 on our website.